energy can also be a little indecisive and a little not committed. But ultimately, this is about fighting for what you believe for and having just enough clarity to move forward with a project, to move forward with a conversation, to move forward in a pursuit of sorts. Okay, so when the Knight of Swords pops up in the reverse position, this indicates a lack of clarity, a lack of direction, a lack of purpose, a lack of fulfillment, also a lack of inspiration. This represents not being objective enough, similar to the Page of Swords reversed, not being curious enough. The Knight of Swords is not supposed to put himself in a box. He's supposed to stay curious and stay maybe like unfazed, unjaded. So a Knight of Swords in the reverse position can be a very jaded energy, and this person tends to have very, very harsh words. All right, but if the Knight, on a whole, when we see the Knight of Swords reversed, this indicates a need to be more open-minded. More open-minded about your approach to problem solving, more open-minded about where you get your information from, more open-minded about your own ideas and your own creative process. And the Knights in the tarot, they move really fast. And the Knight of Swords is a very, very fast-moving energy. So when it comes up reversed, this can indicate a little bit of impatience, a little bit of restlessness, a little bit of burnout. And this is an indication to rest, that you can try as hard as you want, but you can't think your way out of a problem, or you just you can't do things the way you've always done them. So now's the time to go back to the drawing board and take your time going back to the drawing board. And I almost forgot to mention that on the horse, on the Knight's horse, we see little butterflies. There's also little birds, but the butterflies carry forward into the Queen of Swords card as well as the King of Swords. So let's move on to the next card and talk about the Queen. So the Queen is sitting on a throne and her side profile is facing us. On her throne, we see some butterflies, we see some moons and an angel. Her robe is gray, like the clouds around her. But she also has some clouds decorating the cloak draped upon her shoulders. She's got butterflies in her crown. So her right hand is holding her sword that's sitting upright, while her left hand is palm open, like beckoning outwards. And this is important because the right side of our body represents our masculine energy, whereas the left side of our body represents our feminine energy, or the right side represents our assertive tendencies, the left side represents our ability to receive. So her hand being up and out, she is open to receiving. She is open to hearing what her people have to say. She is very compassionate, she's very caring, she's very nurturing, but she's still a queen of intellect. This energy, it doesn't tolerate bullshit, it doesn't tolerate nonsense. The fact that all of these clouds are below her line of sight speaks to the fact that she can see things very clearly. So like I said, the Queen of Swords is compassionate. She does have her hand out. She is receptive to the thoughts and opinions of the people that she's ruling, but at the same exact time, she doesn't let her emotions influence her decision making. She can prioritize logic and ration above her own opinions and her own emotions. This energy is of someone or something that is very, very inspiring. The Queen of Swords is a role model of sorts. This energy is very extroverted. It's very decisive. And because it's extroverted and decisive, it can be very intimidating. I also want to mention the fact that we can see her full sword, which is, we'll see that again with the King of Swords. And we didn't in the Page and the Knight. So this symbolizes the fact that both the Page and the Knight didn't have the whole truth of whatever situation they were in. The Queen and the King, however, they have more information, they have more wisdom, they have more discernment. They rule with an absolute truth. There is no questioning whether or not the Queen of Swords knows her shit. She does. Okay? When we see the Queen in the reverse position, this is an indication that you need to have stronger boundaries with the people, places, and things that are draining you of your energy. The Queen of Swords reversed can represent a need for you to hold your ground. You might be in the middle of some kind of confrontation that's asking you to get more opinionated, to get more decisive, and there's a need for you to stay true to yourself. The Queen of Swords reversed can also symbolize a need to transform. This energy can be very aggressive and self-defensive. The Queen of Swords reversed can also be insensitive. And this card in the reverse position can represent like having a hard time focusing, having a hard time concentrating. And as a result, you need to create stronger boundaries with whatever is distracting you from getting done the things that you need to get done. Ultimately, the Queen of Swords is a very polarizing character, okay? She's a great leader, but it's because she's decisive, she's extroverted, and she's not afraid to put you in your place. She's not gonna kiss your ass, and she doesn't care what you think about her, okay? After the Queen comes the very, very, very last card of the sword suit, the King of Swords. So immediately we can see the juxtaposition in how they are sitting. The Queen is off to the side. We see her side profile. Like, yes, she is acknowledging our existence, but she's busy. The King is looking at us straight on, okay? In his card, we have a throne with more butterflies, more moons, and like the Queen, who had a little angel down here, the King has an angel on his throne, but it kind of looks like this angel is in his ear, helping him make some kind of decision, giving him information. The King also has clouds around him, but less clouds, and he's holding his sword, he's wearing blue, he's wearing a purple cape, which is a very rare color in the tarot. I believe the only other time we see purple is on the Justice card. And so this is a nod to the fact that like this energy is very similar. Both of these energies represent authority figures or leaders that make decisions from a very integral place. Both of these guys truly are humanitarians, like want to make the right decisions and serve both sides of an equation. This energy is very, very integral. It's in the reverse position that Justice and the King of Swords can represent corrupt morals, corrupt political leaders, people with not so great intentions. But so, taking a note from Justice, we look at the King of Swords, and this is a king who didn't want to pursue kinghood. This is a king that was voted in by the people. Okay, he didn't go out of his way to become some kind of authority figure, some kind of leader. He's in power because no one else can rule and make decisions the way he can. This energy is very logical and decisive, but it's also very conservative. He's very, very, very practical in his approach to decision making. The King of Swords represents clarity. It represents big picture thinking. This is an aha moment. This is an epiphany. This is a light bulb moment. Now, similar to the Queen of Swords, this energy can come off as insensitive and cold. But the truth is, this dude is very good at balancing his head versus his heart. He's good at making decisions from a place that is logical and rational, but it also takes his emotional opinions, his emotional feelings into consideration. Okay, so this energy tends to represent us when we're choosing to make decisions from a very grounded place. The King of Swords is the energy of being in alignment, and your head and your heart being on the same page. Going back to the fact that it looks like this angel is in his ear, and even the butterflies are like directly behind him, this speaks to the fact that he is divinely guided, he is divinely protected. He knows that like by listening to his head and his heart, like he can't go wrong, because spirit is talking to him through his head and his heart. Yeah, so in the reverse position, this represents a lack of clarity. This represents, like I said, a lack of integrity, a lack of big picture thinking. The King of Swords reversed can represent someone really verbally abusive, verbally aggressive. This can represent a misuse of words, and just like shady intentions. Also, if the King of Swords upright represents alignment between our head and our heart, in the reverse position, this indicates that we're leaning too much into our head or too much into our heart, and there needs to be a greater balance between the two. All right. In conclusion, the swords of the tarot deck are about information, ideas, the thoughts we think, the conversations we have. But more than that, this is a reminder that the mind is flexible, the mind is malleable. The mind, like the heart, is meant to crack open. Life tends to present us with mental obstacles when it's time to get a lot more open-minded and a lot more brave. Okay. All right, my friend, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to share, like feel free to use the comment section below this video, use the comment section below any of the videos. Whenever I see you guys post a question, I'll try to respond to it as fast as possible, but also feel free to respond to other people in the comment section. And yeah, man. Okay, so that's what I got for you. I will see you in the next one. Bye.